You're a summoner? That's the weakest class in the world. The moment Lin Xiao awakened his class, everyone laughed at him. His rival called him trash. No team wanted him. No one believed he could clear a dungeon. Even a normal combat class was considered better than becoming a summoner. But they had no idea. Lin Xiao had awakened a unique S-tier talent. A talent so powerful that nobody else in the world could ever obtain it. Every single day, he gains a brand new S-rank talent. His first summon was just a tiny skeleton. Weak, pathetic, worthless. But after receiving an S-rank talent, it evolved into a terrifying Death Knight. A monster capable of slaughtering entire armies. Then his slime gained the power of endless evolution through devouring. His goblin became a master of legendary weapons. And that was only the beginning. While other people struggled to make one summon stronger, Lin Xiao gave countless S-rank talents to all of his summons. Every day they evolved. Every day they grew stronger. Every day they became more terrifying. Geniuses, prodigies, heroes, none of them could even defeat his weakest summon. Then the abyss descended upon the world. Demon gods appeared. Ancient monsters awakened. Even the gods themselves looked down upon humanity. But when humanity stood on the edge of extinction, one man stepped forward. Behind him stood an army powerful enough to shake heaven and earth. An army of death knights, ancient beasts, divine creatures, and beings powerful enough to rival gods. The world finally realized one terrifying truth. The strongest army was never an army. The strongest kingdom was never a kingdom. It was one summoner, and his summons. This is the story of Lin Xiao, the summoner who turned the weakest class into the strongest existence in the world. Week 1 8-hour video will be uploaded. All novels uploaded here are completed, so you will get a full story without searching or waiting. I have listened to the translated version on web, and there are no major problems with translation. If you want Chinese novel translated, give me the original name of the novel and I will respond to your request as soon as possible. Please make sure your request is on the latest video. If you hear this "u" sound in the novel, it means either question mark or some space is left, like getting materials or experience gain there more but not shown. If after a name is used and after there is silence, it means exclamation marks were used as in shock. I don't know if this will happen in recorded one, but it happened in web version. Chapter 489. Green God joined the battlefield, allowing Lin Xiao to rest in the rear. Lin Xiao naturally wouldn't stand on ceremony with them. He found a place to hide first. Are these three outer gods lacking god-level combat power because of the sanctuary's rules? Lin Xiao murmured. However, he didn't need to worry about these things at the moment. Even if they couldn't defeat Grand Duke Zhou Yuan and Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon, they were still quite useful for wearing them down. You're crazy. You actually snuck the gods from outside in. What were you thinking? Hylan was shocked by Lin Xiao's actions. It even suspected that he had teamed up with the outside gods to kill the sanctuary and seize its authority. But remembering that he had seen the sanctuary's authority and had no intention of taking it, it knew Lin Xiao probably wasn't that kind of person. This is the outside help I hired. Otherwise, how could I fight these three archdukes of hell by myself? Lin Xiao took a recovery potion, quickly restoring his dropped stats. Hylan asked, "Is this your trump card?" But it felt something was wrong. If they really kill the archdukes of demons, how will you deal with them? Are you going to lead the way for them? To seize the sanctuary's authority? Lin Xiao let out a breath and said, "Of course not. If Green God successfully kills Grand Duke Zhou Yuan, then I'll just kill them afterward." You? Hylan looked at Lin Xiao with a skeptical gaze. You can't even beat the Archduke of Demons, so how are you going to kill these three gods? Lin Xiao just smiled and didn't answer. Since he was willing to let them in, how could he not have a way to deal with them? Besides, it wasn't even certain if they could kill Grand Duke Zhou Yuan. If they couldn't kill him, he would kill them instead, and then he would step in to finish off Grand Duke Zhou Yuan and Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon himself. While Lin Xiao was hiding in the distance recovering, the battlefield where Grand Duke Zhou Yuan was located had been torn apart. These sanctuary guardians are so strong. Even after we projected ourselves down here, we haven't been able to do anything to him for a while. Mist God hid in the mist, with a bug attached to its shoulder that was constantly draining its energy. It glanced at it and slapped it to death. Let's deal with that guard who can use dream abilities first. His condition isn't very good. Then we can deal with the guard who uses curses. Dear God took a look and immediately saw that something was wrong with Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon. There seemed to be something suppressed inside his body, making him a perfect weak point. Good. Then let's kill him first. Green God's body swayed, immediately transforming into a towering tree, and then it shouted angrily, "Forest of trees, descend!" New sprouts emerged from the broken earth, quickly forming a forest. Branches and vines grew wildly along Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon, binding him tightly inside. You're courting death," Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon roared, the nightmare divine power on his body burning rapidly as he quickly destroyed the forest of trees before him. But without the suppression of the nightmare divine power, the calamity plague inside his body began to rapidly erode him again, and he couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of purple blood. Good. Kill him. Mist God was overjoyed and shouted, "Layers of mist!" It didn't unleash this on Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon but instead aimed at Grand Duke Zhouyuan, trapping him first, and then launched an attack toward Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon. Dear divine power! Huge antlers violently tossed Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon into the air. He vomited blood wildly and was slammed hard into the distance. Mist God didn't give him a chance to get up. A mass of mist filled with killing intent engulfed him directly. Screams erupted from the mist. One down. Mist God spoke coldly, then looked at Grand Duke Zhouyuan, who had broken out of the encirclement. Kill! Dear God shouted angrily and launched another attack at Grand Duke Zhouyuan. They didn't have much time and had to finish the battle quickly. Green God also immediately launched attacks, using all its offensive methods to kill. Grand Duke Zhouyuan's face was gloomy, as he constantly mobilized the resentment divine power within his body to fight against them. Even in a one-on-two situation, he still hadn't fallen into a disadvantage and had even caused significant injuries to his opponents. Mist God, hurry over and help. This guy has some skills, Dear God said. He and Green God could kill the opponent if they joined forces, but it would take too much time. However, time was exactly what they were most short of. Wait for me a moment, he's about to die, Mist God said. Looking at Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon trapped in the mist, it couldn't help but mutter to itself, "Why isn't he dead yet?" He was clearly on his last breath. How can he still be alive for so long in the killing mist? What is going on? And why do I keep feeling like something is invading my body? Mist God was puzzled. Just as it prepared to increase its output, it suddenly discovered that the mist trapping Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon had turned purple. What? This is poison. Mist God was shocked, quickly severed its connection to it, and retreated. In the mist, Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon slowly stood up. His entire appearance had drastically changed. His body was covered in pustules, and he was emitting a strange purple aura from time to time. Good, good, good. So it was Calamity Divine Power. Kid, you really gave me a huge surprise, but this still can't kill me. Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon roared, a flash of purple passing through his pupils, and then he quickly locked onto the retreating Mist God. Kill you! His body turned into a mass of nightmares, appearing behind the opponent in the blink of an eye. His arm, already infected with the plague, directly grabbed the opponent's neck. But Mist God was no pushover. The moment it was grabbed, it turned into a mass of mist and dodged to the other side. The sudden situation caught the attention of both Dear God and Green God. Dear God was slightly angry. What's going on? Why haven't you killed him yet? You even let him escape. Mist God touched its neck, feeling an itch, and explained, I don't know either. Maybe he's still hiding a trump card, but looking at his condition, he probably won't live long. The injured Grand Duke Zhouyuan was also shocked when he saw the state of Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon. He couldn't understand at all why he had become like this. Ha ha ha. Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon laughed wildly. Die? You are the ones who should die. Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon had never felt as good as he did now. Although it was painful, he felt that the calamity plague that had invaded his body seemed to have merged with his own power, becoming one. He had become the plague. Arrogant. A person like a candle in the wind dares to dream of killing me? That is pure delusion. Mist God launched an attack, but it soon felt that something was wrong with its body. A force was constantly eating away at its form. Immediately after, it saw pustules breaking out on its arm, and a sense of powerlessness swept through its entire body. What did you do? Mist God was shocked. Just then, Green God suddenly spoke. It's the plague. He carries the plague on him. Don't get close to him. The plague? How could this mere plague possibly do anything to me? Mist God frantically pushed its divine power, trying to expel all the plague that had invaded its body, but it discovered that the plague was extremely overbearing. No matter what it tried, it couldn't do it. It's your turn now. Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon laughed wildly, and endless nightmares surged toward the opponent, swallowing them up. Chapter 490. Lin Xiao was shocked as he watched the plague released by the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon. He can use Calamity Divine Power? The plague Calamity Spirit invading the opponent's body should greatly weaken them. But the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon was actually able to wield Calamity Divine Power, which was simply inconceivable. Seeing Lin Xiao's shocked expression, Hylan explained, he hasn't mastered Calamity Divine Power. It's just that the two powers originate from the same source, and the Calamity Plague only accounts for a very, very small part of Calamity Divine Power, so he can barely use it. Lin Xiao immediately understood and nodded. So that's how it is. This isn't bad either. If the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon can use Calamity Divine Power, he can suppress the Green God and the others even better. If it were a simple crushing defeat, Lin Xiao would have a headache. Looking at this situation, the Mist God doesn't seem to be a match for the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon. Lin Xiao made this assessment as he watched the Mist God retreat steadily. This was a good thing. Just then, a huge roar came from the direction where the Grand Duke of Fear was killed, followed by a wolf howl that echoed through the sky. She's here too. Hearing this sound, Lin Xiao's gaze sharpened, and he immediately knew who had arrived. Just as he wondered who she was fighting, a golden shield suddenly appeared in the distance. Lin Xiao was startled at first, then overjoyed. The God of War? He's here too. The God of War was definitely a powerful combatant. He just didn't expect him to encounter his mother first, and for them to start fighting. Lin Xiao glanced at the human-demon potion in his backpack. No rush. Their battle shouldn't end so quickly. It won't be too late for me to go over when I reach level 100 or even a god-level state. Thus, Lin Xiao recuperated while observing the battle of the Green God and the others. A moment later, a voice sounded in Lin Xiao's ear. Hee, I'm the first one back. It was the Hurricane Evil Spirit. Seeing the other party return, Lin Xiao was also very excited and quickly asked, Did you get it? Of course. Who do you think I am? The Hurricane Evil Spirit spat out a strange crystal. Lin Xiao quickly picked it up and read the information on it. Nightmare God Crystal. Contains a small amount of Nightmare Divine Power. Lin Xiao raised an eyebrow. Oh? This isn't the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon's ability, is it? Among the 9 evil gods, 3 Abyss Archdukes occupy 3 positions: Nightmare, Malevolence, and Resentment. The Grand Duke of Fear, killed not long ago, yielded Abyss Malevolence Divine Power and the Nether God Pearl. Although he didn't get the Resentment Malevolence Divine Crystal, obtaining the Nether God Pearl was somewhat unexpected. If he remembered correctly, the Nether God Pearl should have been in his mother's hands. This meant that the last time the 3 Archdukes of Demons teamed up, they took the power of the 3 evil gods from his mother. This means that the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon and Grand Duke Zhou Yuan must have the Calamity Divine Pearl and the Void Divine Pearl. As long as he obtains them, he can complete these 2 powers. Chaos. Come out and eat. Lin Xiao quickly summoned Chaos and fed it the newly acquired Nightmare God Crystal. Chaos devoured the Nightmare God Crystal, and its level increased to 40. Chaos gained the ability Amaterasu Nightmare. Amaterasu Nightmare can drag people into a real dream. The dream continuously consumes spirit power. When spirit power is insufficient, the dream disappears. Note: If the target's level exceeds yours by 20 levels or 2 realms, they may break free from the dream. Lin Xiao was not surprised that chaos gained the ability to drag people into dreams. After all, the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon also possessed a similar ability. Huh? Where's the plague? Where did the plague go? Did it run away? The hurricane evil spirit noticed that the plague calamity spirit, which had been with Lin Xiao, had disappeared. Lin Xiao pointed to the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon, who was fighting, and said, "He's on him." Now, the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon was almost a purple-skinned person, releasing germs and plague all over his body, making people afraid to approach him. The Mist God, who was fighting him, was not much better. His body was infected with plague, and many parts of his body were weakened. It was already a testament to his willpower that he could continue fighting. Ah, you used it on him? Is that allowed? The hurricane evil spirit was very shocked. It felt that it shouldn't be allowed, yet the plague had already begun to spread on the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon, as if he had become a storage tank. The Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon has the divine power of nightmare. Perhaps that's why the plague calamity spirit's ability can affect him, Lin Xiao explained. Is that so? The hurricane evil spirit wasn't sure, but it didn't matter to him. Hylan spoke up from the side. He is turned into a plague storage tank. If he is killed, the plague within him will scatter, and the surrounding area will become a land of desolation. She looked at Lin Xiao and asked, "Have you thought about what to do?" "Oh." Lin Xiao glanced at her and said, "When they're almost done fighting, I'll go up and reap the rewards. As for the plague, that's a minor issue." Hylan was puzzled. A minor issue? Do you have a way to resolve the calamity plague? Even with the Venus spirit body, it's difficult to dispel the calamity plague. On Grand Duke Zhou Yuan's side, even though he was fighting 2 people alone, he still held his own, occasionally glancing at the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon to see his current state. The Green God and the Deer God also had solemn expressions. Their battle with Grand Duke Zhou Yuan was not their main focus. Most of their attention was on the Mist God, astonished by the changes occurring in him. As for going to help, they were unwilling to get infected by this strange plague. Ha ha ha! Weren't you arrogant just now? Be arrogant again. The Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon fought more and more wildly. He knew the condition of his body and could only rely on the plague to restrict his opponent. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! The Mist God cursed repeatedly. If my true body could descend, what would you even be? Then, he turned to the Green God and the Deer God and said, "You two deal with him. This guy is too strange. I need to heal my injuries now." The two hesitated because they could tell at a glance that the Mist God's condition was extremely abnormal. "No need, I'll heal you. We can't hold back anymore. We must resolve them quickly. You two must have also received the Fish God's message, right? A large number of gods are already rushing towards the holy temple." The Green God said as he manipulated vines to pierce into the Mist God's body, beginning to help him recover his life energy. As for the energy source, it naturally came from this land. Feeling the replenishment of life force, the Mist God couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. His condition was improving. While helping the Mist God recover, the Mist God noticed that his vines seemed to have been contaminated with something strange. His expression changed, and he immediately thought of the plague he had contracted. Damn it! How is this thing so infectious? The Green God quickly severed his vines and rapidly retreated, not wanting to be contaminated by this strange thing again. Seeing the Green God retreat, the Mist God immediately felt dissatisfied. A sense of weakness spread throughout his body again, and he angrily rebuked, "What are you doing? Hurry up and restore me." The Green God retorted, "What is that plague on you? Don't infect me." Damn it! The Mist God cursed, and his body suddenly released a large amount of mist, followed by a ray of light projected onto him. He was leaving. If he didn't, he might really die here, even if it was just a projection. "Mist God, what are you doing?" The Deer God angrily rebuked. This guy was actually going to run away. The Mist God coldly said, "Not run? Should I wait here to die?" His current state was very poor. He had to leave quickly. "Leave? Did I tell you you could leave?" The Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon sneered. Endless nightmares enveloped him. Even in the dream, they carried the plague, rapidly spreading over the Mist God's body. Chapter 491. Mist God left, but that was only what he thought. In his dream, his projection had returned to his main body. But in reality, he remained in place, his eyes vacant. Die! Grand Duke of Nightmare Demons struck with a palm, shattering the Mist God in front of him. In the great universe, Mist God suddenly opened his eyes, a mouthful of purple blood gushing out. His gaze was chilling. His projection had been killed. He was also severely wounded. Damn it! How can the temple's guards be so strong? Mist God was furious. At this moment, he noticed that the blood he spat out was bubbling, and even showed a strange purple color. His face changed dramatically, and he exclaimed in panic, "Impossible! How could the plague be transmitted back into my body along with the projection?" He quickly checked himself and found that there were indeed plague remnants in his body. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Mist God's sudden departure turned the situation back into a 2-on-2. But now, Green God's side was at a disadvantage, and seeing Mist God leave alone, their fighting spirit diminished somewhat. No chance. The strength of the temple guardians is beyond our expectations, Dear God said coldly. After preparing for so long, he hadn't expected to be unable to defeat the opponent, which made him extremely unwilling. Green God nodded. Indeed, we still have too little information. Although he was unwilling to admit it, the opponent's strength was indeed formidable. A mere projection was no match for them. Trying to leave? None of you will. Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon roared. Grand Duke Zhou Yuan naturally wouldn't let them leave just like that either. The two quickly surrounded and attacked Green God and Dear God, launching a frenzied assault. Not far away, Lin Xiao had recovered and was preparing to join the battle ahead. Just then, a roar came from the sky, and faint flashes of fire could be seen. Is the outside also fighting? It seems I need to be faster, Lin Xiao murmured. He then summoned Death God Knight and the others. Venus Spirit Body had also been recalled. Lin Xiao looked at them and said, "First, deal with the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon, then Grand Duke Zhou Yuan, and after that, the two outer gods." In Green God's eyes, he was on their side, making them more confident in killing the two Archdukes of Demons. Once they relaxed their guard, he would then kill them both. Death God Knight and the others nodded and dispersed. Lin Xiao watched the battle ahead, seized the opportunity, and swiftly struck, launching a Star River impact towards the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon. The sudden attack left the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon no time to defend, causing him to spit out blood. "You are!" The Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon saw Lin Xiao appear, and his rage instantly reached its peak. It was he who had made him so disheveled. Too much nonsense. Die! Death God Knight and Snow Maiden Doll attacked from the side, their skills directly blasting the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon. Green God saw Lin Xiao appear and laughed. "Ha ha ha, brother! You've come at a good time." Green God and Dear God seized the opportunity and immediately counterattacked Grand Duke Zhou Yuan. "If you want to kill me, then let's all die together." The Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon felt the plague accumulating within him. At this moment, he no longer suppressed it. He even actively detonated it. He wanted these guys in front of him to also taste the feeling of being corroded by the plague. Boom! The Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon's body directly exploded. He released the plague within him by self-detonation, intending to perish together with Lin Xiao and everyone else present. Purple mist instantly enveloped the entire battlefield. Grand Duke Zhou Yuan, Green God, and Dear God immediately sensed something was wrong and quickly held their breath. Venus! Lin Xiao roared, and Venus spirit bodies healing quickly descended, working with the heart of reversal within him to rapidly alleviate the effects of the plague. Congratulations on successfully killing the Grand Duke of Nightmare Demon. Experience plus 5 billion. Obtained. Nightmare Power *1. Void God Orb *1. Congratulations. Your level has increased to 100. Seeing his level increase to 100, Lin Xiao couldn't help but smile. He was just one step away from the God level. Just then, another prompt sounded. Please go to the Great Universe to advance to God level. Otherwise you will be erased by the temple's rules. Lin Xiao secretly thought, is there no way to advance directly here? After learning that he couldn't advance immediately, Lin Xiao dismissed the thought, deciding to deal with the current battle first. Brother, let's team up and kill him, Lin Xiao shouted to Green God. Okay, let's go together. Green God was also very happy to see Lin Xiao's powerful combat strength and once again launched an attack on Grand Duke Zhou Yuan. At this moment, Hyland's voice sounded in Lin Xiao's ear. Is this your method to counter the calamity plague? Can only delay it. You've already inhaled quite a bit in the center of the explosion. I know what I'm doing. Lin Xiao responded indifferently, then joined Green God and the others in attacking Grand Duke Zhou Yuan. Congratulations on successfully killing Grand Duke Zhou Yuan. Obtained Resentment Demon Power *1, Calamity God Orb *1. After successfully killing Grand Duke Zhou Yuan, Lin Xiao found that he could no longer gain experience. It was probably because he had reached level 100. Brother, I didn't expect you to be so powerful. Green God was shocked to see Lin Xiao's combat power, but after seeing the plague on him, he quickly distanced himself. Lin Xiao smiled, quickly summoned chaos, fed him all the rewards he had just obtained, and at the same time said to Green God, without some ability, I wouldn't have found this place. That's true. Green God nodded. Do you want to rest? Or should we go to the temple now? Dear God stood by silently, his gaze fixed on Lin Xiao, and he couldn't help but think, I always feel that these two don't seem like temple guardians. They're more like someone he deliberately lured here for us to collectively kill. But if that were the case, he would only need to watch from the sidelines. Why would he come out? Is it not what I think? Just as Dear God was speculating, Chaos also completed the absorption of power. Chaos absorbed the Void God Orb. Its power is fully replenished, and it can travel to and from the Void Realm. Chaos absorbed Nightmare Divine Power. Its power is fully replenished, and it can freely create Amaterasu nightmares. Chaos absorbed the Calamity God Orb. Its power is fully replenished, and it can freely release and retract calamity. Chaos absorbed Resentment Demon Power. Hearing the continuous prompts, Lin Xiao's eyes lit up. Now Chaos could freely release and retract calamity, without him having to reach God level, although he was close. Moreover, he discovered that the crystals Chaos had absorbed before now had their power replenished, and their abilities were complete. For example, Calamity, Nightmare, Underworld God, Evil God. The remaining Resentment Demon, Resentment Fiend, and Void God lacked crystals. But Lin Xiao wasn't worried at all, because the Calamity Spirits had already gone to retrieve them. The only ones still missing were Abyss and Cinder. The crystals might be in the Abyss Great Canyon, but he didn't know who had taken these two powers. It should be the person behind his mother, and that person also seems to be collecting Chaos's power. After I resolve the current matter, I'll dig you out. Chapter 492. The plague within Lin Xiao's body was rapidly extracted, and the pink mist shrouding the sky gradually dissipated. The plague Calamity Spirit reappeared beside him. Huh? Huh? The plague Calamity Spirit was stunned for a moment before looking at Lin Xiao and asking in surprise. You can already skillfully control the release and retraction of Calamity Divine Power? Lin Xiao saw the plague Calamity Spirit appear and nodded. More or less. This means the two Calamity Spirits in the North Sea, drought and snow disaster, should be able to be recovered smoothly. As soon as this thought arose, Chaos immediately responded. The Calamity in the North Sea instantly vanished, transforming back into Calamity Spirits that appeared beside Lin Xiao. We can move. Wow, I thought we'd have to wait a long time. The two Calamity Spirits cried out in excitement. Apparently, even when they transformed into calamities, they still retained their consciousness and knew what was happening. It seemed they simply couldn't act. The Green God and the Deer God noticed the disappearance of the plague around them, and even Lin Xiao had recovered, which left them shocked. Brother, did you cure the plague on you? The Green God asked. Lin Xiao smiled slightly. I didn't cure it. It's probably because the temple guardian died, and the plague disappeared with it. It just took some time to vanish. The Green God was startled but didn't doubt Lin Xiao's words, nodding and saying, So that's how it is. Since your illness is cured, let's hurry. They might be arriving soon. They could already hear the sounds of battle from outside the great universe. Exceptionally fierce, so they had to seize the time. If they broke through the temple's defenses and all surged in, they would lose their chance to seize the authority. Lin Xiao smiled slightly. All right, I'll go right away. Just then, Lin Xiao immediately used Chaos's ability. Calamity release. Plague, hurricane, drought, and snow disaster. 4 calamities manifested simultaneously. The sky suddenly changed color, and a terrifying hurricane swept up from nowhere, destroying the surrounding land, while the plague was mixed with snow, turning into poisonous snow that rushed towards the green god and the deer god. Brother, what are you doing? The green god was shocked. The deer god immediately defended, simultaneously cursing. This was all a trap you deliberately set, using our power to eliminate these 2 temple guardians. You want to hog it all. The green god's pupils widened in shock, looking at Lin Xiao in disbelief. Brother, what he's saying can't be true. Can it? Under the effect of mental hypnosis, he still couldn't believe that Lin Xiao had betrayed them. Lin Xiao smiled faintly. Of course not. I just have some personal matters to handle, so I'll have to trouble you to leave for a moment. Upon hearing this, the green god immediately breathed a sigh of relief. So that's what it is. Seeing the green god believe Lin Xiao's words so easily, the deer god couldn't help but curse. Are you a damn idiot? You believe such words? Cough, cough, cough. The extreme drought made his throat feel as if it were burning, and even with the hurricane, the situation remained unchanged. Moreover, where his body touched the poisonous snow, his skin began to rapidly rot. Goodbye. Lin Xiao punched out, and the Death God Knight, Snow Maiden Doll, and Starlight Unicorn also attacked simultaneously, quickly eliminating the Green God and the Deer God. Killing projections yields nothing? Lin Xiao felt a wave of disappointment. However, the original plan was successfully completed. Next, Lin Xiao looked in the direction of Nan Wanqing's battle with his mother and immediately rushed over, outside the great universe. The battle here was exceptionally fierce, and some gods had already fallen, including those on the temple's side. A hidden place near a certain part of the temple. Damn it! We've all been tricked. After his projection was killed, the deer god was the first to recover, furiously stomping the ground. Not only was his projection killed, but his body was also infected with the plague. The mist god was somewhat surprised to see the 2 of them return and asked, "You were also killed by those 2 temple guardians? I didn't expect the temple to still have such powerful forces. It seems we were careless." Hearing this, the deer god again stomped the ground beneath his feet into powder. Bullshit! We were all deceived. That human deliberately led us there, using our power to deal with the temple guardians. He wants to monopolize the authority. What did you say? The mist god immediately became enraged. At this moment, the green god spoke. I don't think so. Didn't he say he had something to handle and asked us to leave first? Perhaps he will open the passage again later and let us in. Hearing the green god's explanation, the deer god's anger instantly reached its peak, and he slapped him. What kind of bewitching drug did he give you to eat? You believe everything he says. Have you been colluding with him all along? The green god hastily blocked the sudden attack, and hearing the deer god's words, he immediately became displeased. What do you mean by colluding? He helped us open the passage. Hasn't he always been on our side? The mist god's face darkened upon hearing this, also realizing something was amiss, because they had never considered Lin Xiao one of their own. Even the promises they made initially, they had no intention of fulfilling. After getting what they wanted, they would kill him, but now, you have a problem. The mist god quickly attacked, and the deer god cooperated tacitly, a cloud of mist rapidly engulfing the green god. A moment later, the mist god spoke with a chilling gaze. He was hypnotized and controlled long ago, back when Lotz was around. After that human killed Lotz, he took over the control of the hypnosis. Upon hearing this, the deer god's face turned extremely ugly, wishing he could slap the green god in front of him to death. But what was done, and doing so now would be futile. At this moment, the fish god sent a message. Most of the gods have made their move, and many are also on the temple side. But the temple side is still weak, and the defenses will soon be breached. That will be the best time to sneak in. Good, I understand. We'll prepare and then depart, the mist god replied. Opening a passage was one way to enter the temple. Another way was to blend in with the main force and sneak into the temple. After that, the ownership of the authority would be up to each individual's ability. The dear god then spoke. Do we still have the condition and ability to compete with them now? The mist god inwardly checked his physical condition and shook his head helplessly. I'm going to give up. Even if I manage to sneak in, it's probably just a death sentence. Authority was tempting, but if one lost their life, it would be useless to obtain it. Even with incredibly good luck, if one truly obtained the authority, it was not certain they could successfully absorb it. Lin Xiao quickly rushed in the direction of the war god's battle, seeing the ravaged land, with several bottomless ravines appearing. He couldn't imagine the ferocity of the battle here. Soon, Lin Xiao found Nan Wansheng and the others and immediately rushed over. Chapter 493. The battlefield was ravaged, and blood was spilled everywhere. By the time Lin Xiao arrived, the battle was already over. Soon, he found Nan Wansheng, who was not in good condition, with hideous wounds visible all over his body. War god, are you all right? Lin Xiao immediately went over to treat him, but Nan Wansheng quickly interrupted, pointing to the ruins not far away and saying, Go treat them first, they need it more, and your parents. Lin Xiao froze upon hearing this, but instead of rushing over immediately, he summoned the slime and instantly cast a healing forbidden curse to quickly restore their injuries. Nan Wansheng's injuries gradually recovered. He managed to sit up, leaning against the shield behind him and said, Save your parents first. They are injured more severely than I am. Seeing that Nan Wansheng was fine, Lin Xiao quickly ran in the direction of his parents. In a pile of ruins, he found a woman lying there, her face pale and her body covered in foul bloodstains. Lin Xiao immediately ran over. Just as he was about to treat her, he remembered something and quickly took out the human demon potion, preparing to give it to her. Once she drank it, she would recover. Just as Lin Xiao was about to feed his mother, she opened her eyes and grabbed Lin Xiao's hand. Don't give it to me. Give it to your father first. Father! Lin Xiao was stunned. Following her gaze, he looked towards a spot where a huge werewolf lay. He had suspected this before, but he couldn't imagine his father turning into this. Now, he finally had confirmation from his mother. I can still suppress it for now. Go save him first, Xia Xinyun said. Lin Xiao nodded. All right. He fed the human demon potion to his father, who had turned into a werewolf, but noticed he didn't revert to his human form. Is this enough? Is he going to maintain this form forever? Lin Xiao wasn't sure, as this was the first time he had used this type of potion. Afterward, he returned to his mother's side and fed the human demon potion to her. After waiting for her to absorb it for a moment, he asked, Mom, what happened back then? Xia Xinyun was silent for a moment, then said, I was indeed dead back then, but someone saved me. Saved by someone? Lin Xiao raised an eyebrow. Was it a god? One of the 9 evil gods. Xia Xinyun nodded. It seems you've already guessed. After he saved me, he didn't kill me. The plan was to cultivate me into the 4th Archduke of Demons in the Abyss. Under the cleansing of the soul, we became abyssal demons. I shouldn't have retained my consciousness, but Father offered his soul and helped me bear a portion of the burden, allowing a small part of my soul to hide deep within my consciousness. Xia Xinyun paused, then continued, Later, I learned of his scheme. He wanted to reaggregate the power of the 9 calamity gods. I was also searching for a way to stop him, but I never succeeded. But now he seems close to succeeding. He just needs to kill the remaining 3 archdukes of hell. Lin Xiao raised an eyebrow and smiled. Mom, you don't have to worry about that. Those 3 archdukes of hell are already dead, so there's no way he can obtain the remaining power of the evil gods. Xia Xinyun was stunned, realizing her son had killed the Grand Duke of Fear and then consecutively killed the other 2 archdukes of demons. She couldn't imagine how he had managed it. But he absorbed 3 gods from the great universe, Xia Xinyun reminded him. Absorbed 3 gods? Lin Xiao was startled, immediately thinking of the 3. Is it the god of curse and the other 2? Xia Xinyun nodded. It really was them. The doubts in Lin Xiao's heart were finally resolved. No wonder he hadn't seen the god of curse and the other two until now. Presumably, they had descended long ago to find trouble with that evil god, only to be counterkilled by him. Does that mean this evil god possesses the strength of a high god? No, they only descended as projections and wouldn't possess god-rank power, but in the realm of nothingness dungeon. Lin Xiao recalled what the green god had once said. The boss of the realm of nothingness once used special means to fight outside the great universe and kill 3 gods. Perhaps that evil god possesses such a method. If that's the case, he must advance to god rank. Boom! Just then, the earth shook violently, and something in the sky could vaguely be seen opening up. It's the sanctuary's protection. The sanctuary's protection has vanished. They might be coming in, Hylan shouted. Vanished. Lin Xiao's heart tightened. This speed was faster than he had anticipated. Go, my child. I'm fine now. Go do what you must, Xia Xinyun urged Lin Xiao. Lin Xiao looked back at his mother and said, I'll be back soon. With that, he quickly took out the sanctuary compass and directly entered the gods' assembly hall dungeon. At this moment, the place had already become a ruin. Looking ahead, he could see the god of fire and others fighting desperately. Soon, Lin Xiao saw the silhouette of the god of fun. Coincidentally, he seemed to have noticed Lin Xiao's arrival and looked over. I should advance to god rank first. Will fusing the elements push me to god rank? Various elements emerged around Lin Xiao as he asked Hylan, who was beside him. Yes, Hylan nodded. You possess the Chaos Constitution and the Chaos Authority. My method for elemental fusion is also derived from Chaos Fusion, so it is perfectly suited for you. That's good. Lin Xiao nodded and immediately began his push for god rank. Hylan reminded him, oh right, when fusing time, don't forget the causal force, or you'll be erased by the time taboo. Lin Xiao smiled faintly. How could I forget something so important? Lin Xiao began the fusion. The 12 elements he currently controlled pushed him to new heights. This action quickly drew the attention of the other gods, but it only caught their notice. They had no intention of attacking Lin Xiao, as they had more important targets. In the space of the great universe, a girl noticed Lin Xiao's location. Ah, it's him, the girl exclaimed. The lowly girl dragging a great sword glanced at Lin Xiao and asked, You know him? I don't know him. I haven't met him, but I saw him during a certain period. The girl replied. She then exclaimed, He's going to advance to God? And this method of advancement, why is it so similar to Hylan's? The lowly girl holding a rabbit doll spoke calmly. He comes from the sanctuary. Perhaps he found Hylan's ruins. But didn't she fail her final push because of the time taboo? Moreover, he seems to have the aura of the original Chaos God. That guy also touched the time taboo during his final push and was erased. If he advances to God rank like this, he will eventually die. There is no path left ahead. Chapter 494. Various elements converged, continuously pushing Lin Xiao to new heights. As he was about to advance to the God level, he felt the barrier of the great universe. This barrier could be easily broken through. As the girl manipulating the World Heritage said, becoming a God-level being now was very simple, without too many restrictions. It was easy to imprint one's mark on the great universe. As the various elements merged, Lin Xiao couldn't help but think to himself, I'm merging elements to become a God-level being. Am I an elemental god? Or a chaos god? Just as Lin Xiao was distracted, a bolt of lightning suddenly shot out towards the distance. You're still getting distracted while advancing to the god level? Hylan said, annoyed. This was a critical moment. Lin Xiao quickly composed himself and focused, but he still told Hylan his thoughts. Upon hearing this, Hylan said, You're still a chaos god. After all, you already possess chaos authority, you just can't use it yet. Oh, right, what about the god seat and divine core? Didn't you find them? You can't advance to the god level without these two. Otherwise, you'll just be a very ordinary god level being, unable to use the abilities of a chaos god. The god seat and divine core are symbols of a god. Whether inherited or achieved through one's own efforts, they are essential. The former can be obtained very quickly, while the latter still requires some time. Lin Xiao continued to merge elements. Just as he was about to merge with time, he stopped and confirmed with Hylan, "Absorb causal force first?" Hylan replied, "Yes, absorb causal force first, then merge with time, using causal force to circumvent time's judgment." Lin Xiao nodded and immediately took out the causal force to begin absorbing it. In the great universe space, the girl watched Lin Xiao's process of advancing to the god level, and she exclaimed in surprise, "He's actually using causal force to circumvent the time taboo? That's a good method, but wasn't that guy who controlled cause and effect killed a long time ago? Where did he get causal force from?" The girl was very curious. If she remembered correctly, when they were about to leave this place, they encountered the guy who controlled the law of cause and effect in the passage to the upper floor. Because he saw that the angel was beautiful, he used his causal ability to connect the two of them, and as a result, he was killed. Even his abilities were shattered. This also led to them being trapped there, temporarily unable to escape. The lowly girl dragging a large saber glanced at Lin Xiao and said, "It is the law of cause and effect, but it doesn't come from the same person. It should have been obtained very early on, but was hidden." The lowly girl holding an alligator doll thought for a while and said, "It must be Hylan. He used to follow the path of a chaos god. The causal force should have been prepared at that time, but for some unknown reason, it has remained until now." At this moment, the girl looked towards the holy temple and said nervously, "They can't hold on much longer. Aren't we going to help?" The lowly girl dragging a large saber shook her head. "Still not making a move? Are we waiting for him to advance to the god level and then save the holy temple? Even if he advances to the god level, he won't be able to defeat these guys," the girl said. "Look, his advancement is unstable. He must be concerned about that place. It's time to act," the girl urged. The lowly girl dragging a large item did not speak, merely watching everything unfold before her. Hylan saw Lin Xiao make another mistake and quickly reminded him, "Focus. Don't let them disturb you. If you don't advance to the provincial level, you can't help them. You'd just be cannon fodder. Don't let these thoughts hinder you." Lin Xiao naturally knew this. The battle situation from afar made it difficult for him to concentrate, and when he saw the gods on his side falling, his heart grew even more anxious. Just then, golden lights erupted from within the holy temple. Lin Xiao was startled and immediately looked over, only to see Nan Wanxing appear in the great universe, holding a golden shield. "This is the holy temple's authority? God of war, he." Lin Xiao was shocked, completely unexpected that at this moment, the god of war would advance to the god level and become the holy temple's authority. Nan Wanxing's appearance immediately attracted everyone's attention, especially the golden shield in his hand. Old Goat covered his bleeding wound and glanced at Nan Wanxing, saying, "The holy temple's successor has appeared?" The severely injured god of fire was also surprised. Why him? Wasn't it Lin Xiao? Surprise, relief, and doubt were the emotions generated by the gods under the holy temple's influence. But unlike them, the gods in the great universe were filled with fanaticism. "It's here. The guardianship authority has finally appeared. It's exactly as described in the records. Ha ha ha." The holy temple handed over authority to a greenhorn, so we can only take it from him. Such a thing is not for you to possess. Kill. Whoever gets it first, it's theirs. You've just become a new god. What ability do you have to seize such a precious thing as authority? Do you think you're that one? Die. Nan Wanxing's appearance aroused the jealousy of many gods. The gods, who were originally high and mighty, were now like mad hunting dogs, rushing towards Nan Wanxing recklessly, attempting to snatch the authority from his hands and claim it for themselves. Nan Wanxing gripped the golden shield in his hand, took a deep breath, and then slowly exhaled. This trial of guardianship is truly not easy. How many years has it been? More than 20 years, right? My persistence hasn't been in vain. Looking at the foreign gods charging at him, Nan Wanxing's gaze became exceptionally firm. "I guard all living beings. I guard the holy temple. Those who take one step closer shall die." As soon as his voice fell, roars echoed throughout the entire great universe. Shields appeared, absorbing the attacks of the crowd, and then quickly deflecting them. Guardianship's lament. The golden shield slammed down fiercely, and a golden light entered the bodies of the god of fire and others, absorbing all their injuries and restoring them to their peak state. This is the power of the holy temple. After so many years, I finally feel it again. The god of nature wept bitterly, recalling the scene when he was picked up and brought back to the holy temple. It was this warm power. The goddess of fate's injuries were also absorbed, and she recovered. She glanced at Nan Wanxing, then looked in Lin Xiao's direction. The goddess of fate murmured, "Is this your choice?" She had originally wanted Lin Xiao to walk the path of fate. After all, fate was also a very powerful force. But then he came into contact with chaos, and even obtained chaos authority. At that time, she knew it must be the holy temple behind the scenes. Otherwise Lin Xiao would never have obtained chaos authority in his lifetime. You still can't let go. You still want it to reappear in the world. Ever since she took over the management of the holy temple, she had also learned about what happened a long time ago. The rise of that war was not just to seize the guardianship authority held by the holy temple, because at that time, the holy temple could be considered a behemoth. And many forces also possessed authority. The war was sparked by chaos gods, but very few people knew this, and some even didn't know the reason for the war's outbreak. Until the Great Universe Massacre later, there are now very few who still remember the existence of chaos gods. Because of this, Lin Xiao's advancement to the god level did not attract much attention. He was only considered a human who had reached his limit and wanted to advance to the god level. Chapter 495. Seeing Nan Wanxing appear and successfully inherit the authority of the sacred hall, Lin Xiao breathed a sigh of relief. Nan Wanxing is of the guardian class, which is quite compatible with the sacred hall's authority. Lin Xiao had previously wondered why someone as strong as him hadn't received a divine glimpse. It turned out he had been waiting for the sacred hall all along. With the god of war here, we should be able to hold on for a while. I need to hurry, Lin Xiao thought to himself, accelerating the fusion of elements. Nan Wanxing's terrifying defensive capability, single-handedly blocking 1,000 people, was beyond reach. This is the power of authority. To have such terrifying strength right after inheriting it. If he adapts further, what then? Enough talk. This thing shouldn't be on him. The outer gods launched an even fiercer counterattack, and even some high gods who had been observing the battle joined the fray. Even though Nan Wanxing had inherited the authority of the sacred hall, they still didn't have the upper hand. Should we leave? Someone has already inherited the sacred hall's position. Continuing to fight offers us no chance of victory, the god of fire said quickly to everyone, forcing back the charging god of elephants with a palm. No, we can't retreat yet. It wasn't Nan Wanxing who spoke, but the goddess of fate. Although the sacred hall's authority had been passed down, Lin Xiao had not yet completed his divine promotion. Leaving now would put him in danger. Moreover, the ominous premonition of fate still lingered. On the path of destiny, whether they chose to continue fighting or temporarily avoid conflict, they would still be unable to escape their fated end. They would still be devoured by darkness. Can we take the people inside with us? Nan Wanxing asked faintly. The god of fire fell silent. They could leave, but the humans within the sacred hall world certainly could not. Buzz. A series of buzzing sounds came from afar, as a verdant arrow shot from the depths of the great universe, carrying terrifying power. It's an arrow from the Pegasus God clan. Quickly dodge. Damn it, are the remnants of the Pegasus God clan doing this on purpose? Shooting right into the crowd? Do they want to take us all out? Boom! Nan Wanxing swiftly retreated, a spray of blood erupting from his chest. Seeing this, everyone immediately launched a fierce attack. Some were curious why the Pegasus God clan hadn't intervened yet, always hiding behind the scenes. Perhaps they're wary that the Supreme Being is still present. The previous incident, combined with this one, is probably an attempt to test his attitude. I think they'll probably make another move. They won't just stand by and watch others seize authority. That makes sense. And the other ancient god clans don't seem to have made a move either. Are they also wary of that Supreme Being? Definitely. It's said that the Supreme Being has a deep connection with the Sacred Hall. When the Sacred Hall faced calamity, it was he who forcefully extended its life, and then launched a frenzied retaliation. I know about that, the Great Universe Massacre, right? Almost all forces in the great universe were slaughtered, and then it returned to its current chaotic state, the god of eagles said. But at the same time, he was also a bit curious, and couldn't help but ask, why did the major forces in the great universe besiege the sacred hall back then? Of course, to seize its authority. God of eagles. Didn't they have their own? According to rumors, the sacred hall wasn't weak at that time, so there was no need, right? This? I don't know. Some were observing the situation, not rushing to act. Some thought whoever grabbed it first owned it, while others muddied the waters, intending to secretly enter the sacred hall to try and snatch valuable items. Buzz. Just then, another arrow shot forth, even more powerful than before. This time, Nan Wanqing was prepared, concentrating all his strength to forcefully block the arrow. Nan Wanqing's hands trembled, and his face was somewhat pale. This arrow's power was even greater than the previous one. Is this the gap in strength? Can I really protect them? Nan Wanqing tightly gripped the golden shield in his hand and muttered. But soon, the confusion in his eyes vanished, replaced by an exceptionally firm gaze. There's still a chance. The sacred hall told me the solution the moment I accepted its authority. Nan Wanqing glanced in Lin Xiao's direction and thought to himself, can you, who has been given hope by the sacred hall, truly handle all of this? The battle continued, but the defense line of the god of fire and the others was shrinking, and the number of fallen gods had already exceeded 10. On Lin Xiao's side, his progress was very smooth. With the help of causal force, the time fusion went smoothly, and the remaining elements naturally completed their fusion without a hitch. Lin Xiao glanced at his status panel, his gaze falling on his current class. Class? Elemental Chaos Summoner. Divine. After becoming divine, Lin Xiao noticed that the Death God Knight's body had become more formidable, the aura of death on him stronger, and even his name had changed. Death God. Lin Xiao mumbled the Death God Knight's new name. At this moment, he couldn't help but feel puzzled and asked Hylan, my Death God Knight has ascended to become the Death God, taking the original Death God's position? The Death God was once a deity under the Sacred Hall's influence, but was killed in war, and no new Death God had been born until now. But now, the Death God Knight had taken the title of Death God, which made him curious. Hylan pondered for a moment, sensing the changes in the Death God Knight, and explained, that's possible. After all, no new Death God has been born, and your Death God Knight possesses the Death God's former weapon, so taking his position is only natural. However, the imprint in the great universe is not your Death God Knight. It's still the original Death God. To truly take his place, you either have to erase him completely and become the new Death God, or find his legacy and inherit it. Lin Xiao nodded, understanding Hylan's meaning. He then asked, can all my summoned beasts do this? Hylan nodded. Logically speaking, yes, all of them. After thinking for a moment, she added, if your summoned beast's abilities are very similar to a certain god, then it might not be able to become divine. It would need to find other ways to advance or kill that god and then erase the imprint they left in the great universe. Lin Xiao nodded. I understand. He quickly checked the changes in his summoned beasts. Because he had reached the divine level, all his other summoned beasts had reached mythic quality and undergone transformations. Oh, the Snow Maiden doll became the Ice God? Has a new Ice God not appeared after all this time? The Starlight Unicorn became the Star Domain Beast God. Isn't that the Star God? Oh, right, the Star God doesn't seem to be dead. Lin Xiao looked around. Except for the Queen of Flowers, the Spider Prince, and the ancient mechanical ox, which had not yet become gods, all the others had become gods. Looking at the battle ahead, a murderous glint flashed in Lin Xiao's eyes. Very good. Now it's our turn to act.